My name is Tom McCabe. I'm the 287G Program Manager assigned to Maryland. And this is our first inaugural 287G Steering Committee. We'll be having one of these every year. The date's going to fluctuate, but they'll be posted in the same manner. On the panel here today to answer any direct questions, which we have for Harford County, we have Sheriff Gaylor. We have
Warden Capasso.
Warden Capasso, thank you. I got my little cheat sheet here. Major Gullion and Captain Walker, as well as Eric Roby. And for ICE, we have the Field Office Director, Dorothy Herrera-Niles. We have CJ Fole and James Bogger from ICE Headquarters 287G. Okay, the mission statement for the steering committee. Actually, let me back up 1 second. Set up the kind of the steering committee rules. We have a brief presentation. It's kind of a 101 about what the 287G program is, as well as the status of the Harford County 287G program, and then we'll open up to individual questions from anyone who's present. The mission statement for the steering committee is to improve program oversight and direction. It's to identify issues and concerns regarding immigration enforcement activities, increase transparency, and offer the community opportunities to communicate community-level perspectives. The vision statement of the steering committee is to create safer communities and improve national security by enhancing ICE's ability to identify and remove criminal aliens by gaining an independent community-level perspective on 287G operations. The 287G program from Section 287G of the Immigration and Nationality Act was added in 1996 to authorize the Attorney General to delegate federal immigration authorities to state and local law enforcement officers. This was later transferred to the Secretary of the Homeland Security. So that's where the 287G program comes from. Now, the Harford County 287G program implementation date. The Memorandum of Agreement was signed on October 26, 2016, and it's available on the ICE public-facing website, www.ice.gov. There are currently 3 correctional deputies trained by ICE to have the authority to enforce immigration laws under Section 287G of the INA. There are 6 more correctional deputies, actually 3 of them are training now, and there's 3 more additional that are scheduled to be trained by October. The Harford County 287G program went operational May 24, 2017, just a few weeks ago. The ICE Baltimore field office continues to provide support until our training is completed. Obviously, some of our candidates are still in training. And it will become 100% self-sufficient in October. Harford County 287G program oversight. It has a full-time ICE program manager that reviews all detainers lodged, cases, and paperwork. That's me. I do the Harford County as well as the Frederick County 287G programs. The ICE Office of Professional Responsibility conducts routine inspections of every 287G program every 2 years, and Harford County will be subject to inspections as well. The Office of Professional Responsibility is kind of like an internal affairs, but for ICE it's the OPR. Now, the cost to the county. The following was provided by ICE to the county, no cost. Training, equipment, and oversight. And there are no full-time county staff dedicated to the program. They all have full-time positions. 287G is collateral duty for them. Now, the priorities for ICE as well as the 287G program. This is set forth by the current administration's executive order, which came out January 25th. Convicted or charged of any criminal offense. Aliens who committed acts which constitute a chargeable criminal offense. Engaged in fraud or willful misrepresentation in connection with any official matter before a government agency. Have abused any program related to the receipt of public benefits. Are subject to a final order removal but have not complied with their legal obligation, and or in the judgment of an ICE official poses a risk to public safety or national security. Those are the priorities set forth by the White House, and the 287G program will be in compliance with. Now, who do we investigate about their immigration status? 100% of all arrests or intakes brought into the detention facility will be screened. Everybody gets screened by the 287G program. No on-the-street officers will be trained to conduct immigration enforcement. 287G trained correctional deputies, their authority resides solely within the confines of the detention center, and they're only screening those that are arrested by the police and booked into the detention facility. Any questions, concerns? No, is there anyone from the panel like to add anything?
As Sheriff Gaylor, I'd like to say, we just recently joined the program, and it's something I ran on as a campaign issue that I promised the citizens of Harford County that we would pursue. And again, it's been a good partnership. We partnership with our federal partners at the DEA, the FBI, and there's no reason we wouldn't partner with all the federal programs that are going to make our county safer. And this is an example of that, partnering with Homeland Security and ICE specifically.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, do you have any questions or concerns?
I'm still trying to assimilate all this information.
Okay.
Why is there only a review every 2 years?
That is the requirement set forth by ICE to the Office of Professional Responsibility. They want it every 2 years to be inspected, which actually ends up to being roughly every 18 months because the inspections have to be done and the results have to be out and corrective actions have to be initiated prior to that 2 years. So usually 18 months or so they actually commence.
If they find problems, they then will do what they call a focus review every year until those problems are resolved. And of course, we would expect them to be resolved immediately. So if at the next inspection they find a problem, they'll identify, they give a very thorough report of what the problems are. They'll then set up a date in the next year to come back. First off, they'll come up with a plan of action to correct those problems. And then come back to follow up to make sure that was done, and they focus specifically on those issues.
Are there any plans, I have another question, I'm sorry. Are there any plans in the future to expand it to on-the-road officers? Out of the detention center?
I have heard no talk of that. I mean, we are enforcement and removal operations. We're primarily, in the jails and the detention facilities, though we do have our own on the street, but there's no leanings towards returning to the task force models.
Yeah, and I will say I've spoken on that a lot of times. The men and women of the Harford County Sheriff's Office, the law enforcement side, are extremely, extremely busy on the calls for service that we have right now related to public safety. So this is purely a correctional deputy program. Not that they're not already overworked as well, but again, it's a place where everyone can be screened at one point coming in and keep it separate. And it adds to the public safety component because the last thing I want to do as sheriff is have criminal offenders re-enter Harford County population to offend again.
Right.
That just continues the vicious cycle.
Yeah, and it would also meet the criteria of the executive order as far as you don't have some criminal activity. You don't show up at the detention center just because you don't have nothing else to do.
Right.
And if that were to happen for on-the-street officers to be involved, first off, the sheriff would have to agree to it, ICE would have to agree to it, the memorandum of agreement would have to be changed, and additional training would have to be given. So that's something that, a whole lot of things would have to happen for that to be put into place.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. And don't apologize for questions. That's the reason for
That's
this
why
meeting.
we're here.
So we're here, to answer any questions that you have, and we'll stay here as long as you or anybody else wants to talk.
Nothing else? Okay, well, let's go ahead and convene the meeting. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Hope you have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.